Hey everybody, this is Eldonna Fernandez, the Pink Biker Chick with Go Pink Magazine, and I am here with Suzanne, and she and I were just on the Dr. Phil show. Dr. Phil, as you just saw, as you may have seen if you watched the show today, that he did a show on domestic violence, and the entire audience were victims, or as I say, victims, over domestic violence. And Suzanne and I shared a little with Dr. Phil. He sat down with us and interviewed us, and we both have our own personal stories. So, Suzanne, how was the show for you?
It was incredible. I was heartened to be sitting with so many people who were willing to share their story, especially with the woman who was on stage who had undergone horrible, horrible things, which you will see on the show. We're not allowed to talk about it yet. But it was very empowering, very emotional.
And I really thought that Dr. Phil put it so eloquently, is how your mind gets paralyzed, because a lot of people say, nobody in their right mind would put up with that kind of abuse. Why don't you just leave? And it sounds simple enough, but when you're in that situation, you're traumatized and your mind is paralyzed. And he's helping to put that information out there so more women can understand that it's something with your mind. It's something that you've been controlled, totally been tied up mentally, and you just can't leave. It's not something that's so easy. And to end the domestic violence and end the silence over it is a movement that's really starting to go across the country, I think.
Right. Yeah, I thought that was really good that he talked about the complex nature of the relationship and how people can just do these mind somersaults to validate why the abuse is happening, why it's their fault, and it also contributes to how isolating the whole experience is, because other people are seeing it as black and white. Something happened to you, someone was mean to you, someone physically abused you, why don't you just leave? And so it's just not black and white.
That's right. And I think the thing that, like for my personal situation, I grew up, both my parents were alcoholics. I witnessed them beat each other up constantly. And as a result, I ended up perpetrating the same thing in my own relationships until I, at one point in my life, had what I call a mirror experience, where I saw that I was the problem and I could be the solution and make a change. So what would you say to other women out there who are maybe in this situation right now?
I would say, don't blame yourself. Do some research, get help, but be safe about exiting a relationship if that's what you decide to do. Dr. Phil was talking about how on his website there's some advice on how to exit safely a relationship, and that the time that you leave is the most dangerous time, which is exactly what was my experience, is when I said, we're breaking up, you're leaving by the end of the day, and I almost ended up dead. So I would say just do some research, go to the Dr. Phil website, but stay safe.
Yeah, definitely stay safe. Don't just make a decision and act on it. You have to have a solid plan in place so you'll be safe, because that's the most volatile time, like Suzanne was saying, that Dr. Phil was mentioning, when their mind can just snap and anything can happen, and when somebody's not in their right mind, there's nothing that you can do about it. So you have to have a plan to be safe, to make sure that you get to safety for you, and if you have children, for your children.
And don't blame yourself, and don't be embarrassed about it.
Exactly. So read the article here on Go Pink Magazine, and if you have some problems, we know that the domestic abuse hotline is there. You'll see it flashing at the bottom of the video. And we're about empowering women, and we want you to be safe, and we want you to have a happy, healthy, free life. So, Eldonna Fernandez signing out. Go Pink!